Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Young here and welcome to my top 10 most wanted features for Fallout 4. When rumors began circulating that Massachusetts, aka the Commonwealth, would be Fallout 4's next setting, people were excited. It remains one of the most mysterious and unexplored regions in the lore of Fallout, housing landmarks such as the elusive and technologically advanced organization known as the Institute. Being the mysterious giant blank canvas that it is, the Commonwealth is the perfect choice of setting for developers to fully unleash their creativity without many lore restrictions, and also to paint a unique, vast open world for players to explore. Furthermore, because so little is known about the region, there are infinite ways to further expand the Fallout universe and unlimited possibilities for unique stories to be told with few creative restrictions. Fallout 3's Lone Wanderer was a decent character, but I think Bethesda can take it up a notch with Fallout 4's Protagonist. One popular assumption is that players will assume the role of an android from the Institute, indistinguishable from humans. Apart from being the perfect excuse for the character creation, it would also raise certain dilemmas revolving around whether a robot can indeed be considered a human. A protagonist with doubts about his own humanity and existence certainly leaves a lot of room for interesting character development. Another theory comes from a casting script leaked by Kotaku, suggesting that the protagonist is a man from the pre-Great War period who has awoken after decades or even centuries of cryogenic sleep, which leaves room for a lot of interesting backstory. Regardless of which, my hope is that Fallout 4's protagonist is treated as much a character as a link between player and game. This could just be wishful thinking, but wouldn't it be awesome to have access to a few vehicles for the next Fallout game? While it's true that functional vehicles are rare in the Fallout universe due to the catastrophic outcome of the Great War, that doesn't mean they have been completely wiped out from the face of the planet. Access to vehicles is all the more plausible if the game setting does turn out to be Massachusetts. I mean, who's to say that the Institute, this technologically advanced organization, hasn't developed some kind of vehicle? While I don't think vehicles are an absolute must to improve the overall gameplay experience, the prospect of being able to ride some kind of all-terrain car or motorcycle around a post-apocalyptic Massachusetts does seem rather enticing. Fallout 3 was a fantastic game that was unfortunately marred by subpar graphics and animations, saved only by fantastic art direction, so I can't overstate how much I am looking forward to seeing Fallout 4's new engine in action. Skyrim's creation engine was a huge step in the right direction, featuring updated graphics, improved animations, much tighter gameplay and controls, and significant new features like seamless conversations, all which served to further immerse players in its vast open world. And for PC players, the engine both streamlined and stabilized the creation and usage of mods, extending the game's lifespan tenfold. I can only hope that Bethesda makes yet another leap in the right direction with Fallout 4 through new enhancements and features, especially now that they have the power of next-generation gaming at their disposal. Fallout 3's karma system was too black and white and systematic for it to feel legitimate. It was less about the consequences of actions and more about exploiting what was essentially a point system through menial tasks. I mean, sure, Fallout 3 did feature quests in which players' actions could produce significant outcomes and in turn significantly affect karma, but these choices were too clearly good or evil. It doesn't take a genius to know that blowing up Megaton is bad or that giving the world purified water is good. What Fallout 4 needs is a system that is based on consequences, not on present actions. In real life, sometimes people do bad things for a good cause or the other way around, but what really matters is that actions have consequences, and living with these consequences is what makes morality so gray. If Fallout 4 can find a way to make karma grayer, morally challenging, and about the consequences of actions, and have the world evolve with these consequences, it'll elevate the franchise to a whole new level. A wise man once said, "Guns. Lots of guns." Fallout 4 absolutely needs to expand upon the paltry arsenal that Fallout 3 provided by adding new, varied, and unique weapons to each archetype, and by that I don't mean the lazy same guns with different stats method. Furthermore, while the schematics and crafting system was highly appreciated in Fallout 3, there were far too few schematics for the crafting system to have much of a lasting appeal. Adding more schematics of more unique weapons would alleviate this problem. The crafting system could also be expanded with customizable attachments. Rather than having players find silenced or scoped versions of a gun, players should be allowed to find attachments as separate units to combine with compatible weapons. Fallout New Vegas took a step in the right direction with weapon mods, but there is still room for expansion and improvement. More guns, more schematics, customizable attachments, and an overall deeper and improved crafting system should really help boost the game to new heights. Remember the good old days when players could layer armor on top of clothes or choose which pauldron or glove to equip for each side individually? I want those days back. Unfortunately, the customization aspect of many RPGs have been at a bit of a decline lately, taking away from players' control over individual pieces of armor or clothing to equip. I want to be able to look like a mismatched human rainbow if I want to. I'm not exactly sure what to expect on the customization front for Fallout 4, but I at least hope it doesn't go down the same path as Skyrim, which streamlined its equipment system a bit too much. Now, if there's one thing that Fallout 4 should inherit and expand upon from Skyrim, it's the character creation, which actually allowed players to create a half-decent looking character. It also added some customization features like scars, tattoos, mismatched eyes, body size, and more. If Fallout 4 can give us more pieces of equipment to play with, and a character creation that's at least as good as Skyrim's, then I'll be one satisfied gamer. Quality over quantity is what I hope Bethesda has in mind as they create quests for Fallout 4. I'll take a handful of fully fleshed out quests over 1,000 fetch quests any day. If Fallout 4 expects to meet already high expectations, then quests need to be varied and dynamic. They need to take full advantage of what I'm hoping to be an equally varied and dynamic world. Choices need to have significant repercussions, and most important of all, these quests must actually be fun to do. I'm not saying that past Bethesda games haven't had quests that met these standards, but at times they have felt a bit too few and far between, with less compelling ones filling the gaps. Fortunately, Bethesda took a step in the right direction with Skyrim, so I have high hopes for both the quality and quantity of Fallout 4's quests. It had its flaws, but I absolutely loved the way Skyrim handled leveling. It replaced the system based around tagging the right attributes and placing skill points with one purely based on the player's actions and the idea that practice makes perfect. The more players successfully used a specific type of weapon or performed a specific skill, the more proficient they became at it, just like in real life, allowing the player character to naturally evolve from start to finish. I also loved how Skyrim assigned branching perk paths to each of the game's skills, adding another level of complexity to character development and granting players awesome new abilities in a more immersive manner. I really hope that Fallout 4 heavily borrows from and improves upon Skyrim's leveling system. Natural evolution of characters is what more RPGs need these days. Fallout 3's combat system, even with awesome features like VATS, fell a bit short for me. If Fallout 4 aims to improve upon its predecessor, then first and foremost, it needs to add a better sense of feedback. I don't know if it was the weird ragdoll physics, the subpar animations, or even little things like the way guns seemed to have little to no recoil, but more often than not, guns felt less like real guns and more like BB guns. Save for when body parts exploded, the sense of impact wasn't always there, with targets often treating bullets like they were made of paper. Speaking of which, while I appreciated Fallout 3's crippling system, the effects were too statistical, with too little going on physically. Instead of subtracting a few points from a skill or attribute, why shouldn't the player be able to blow up someone's leg and have them crawl for their life, or shoot an arm clean off and leave them completely defenseless, or hell, blow off their arms and legs and leave them limbless and stranded until they die of blood loss? I know it all sounds very cynical, but hey, cynicism is a part of Fallout. Furthermore, why shouldn't players have the ability to aim at vital organs like the lungs or heart, especially with the awesome VATS feature? Something else that Fallout 4's combat desperately needs is dual wielding. The game could easily borrow from Skyrim's left-hand, right-hand system, allowing players to aim down the iron sight when wielding one weapon, but only allow hipfire when dual wielding. Also, imagine holding some kind of sword, melee, or fist weapon on one hand and a gun on another. Or hell, imagine not just dual wielding 2 guns, but also 2 melee or fist weapons. I don't know about you, but that sounds totally badass. So in summary, a better sense of feedback and impact for guns and bullets, a more physical representation of the crippling system, more organs to target, and a VAT system that takes all of this into consideration, along with new features like dual wielding, would go a long way to making Fallout 4's combat system the best one yet. Oh, and Bethesda, borrow a page from New Vegas, and please don't forget iron sight aiming this time. And that concludes my top 10 most wanted features for Fallout 4, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Let our nation know in the comments below some of your most wanted features. And to be further updated on Fallout 4, be sure to join the nation and subscribe to Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, and Young out.